Hey, Localtude fam! So excited to have you here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Localtude's Founder Fables. It's a show we host right here every Tuesday and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. featuring amazing entrepreneurs, thought leaders, small business owners, mom and pop shops, and solopreneurs. What is a fable, you ask? A short tale that teaches us a lesson. It's also a story about extraordinary persons and extraordinary incidents. And at Localtude, we think you deserve to hear some of these fabulous people and their story. And so we know you're ready to support small business. And around, you know what? It's telling me that we're not streaming live to Facebook. So for those of you who are not catching us on Facebook, we will post this later. I don't know why it doesn't want to work. So sorry about that for all of you who were watching and are no longer watching. You can catch us on the replay. All right. So around here, we know that when you buy from a small business, a real person does a spectacular happy dance, and we'd like to help connect you to some stories of legend. We are here today with an amazing photographer extraordinaire, best known for creating one-of-a-kind photos of your entire family. I would like to introduce Karina. Say hi.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I, for those of you who don't know me, am your host today, Christina Safford, and we around here at Localtude make it easy to shop small, buy local, and during Founder Fables, we're helping you find small businesses you would absolutely love to support. So Karina is here with us today, and she is one of our Localtude fam, and we are super excited to have her as part of the family. So tell us briefly, we know you're a photographer. What is it you love about being a photographer?
Oh, wow. That's a great question. I think what I loved at the beginning was the challenge of it. I had no idea how to work the settings of my camera. I had no idea what I was doing at the beginning as a photographer because I actually started in video. So I was used to cameras on auto, just taking video, capturing people's special days because I started in weddings.
Yeah.
And
you have a pretty spectacular story about how you got started or how you switched over from like video over to photos. So fill us in there.
Oh, sure. So the first time, okay, so way back to the very beginning, I was an intern at a church camp. And as an intern, they threw me on a boat one day and said, could you video some of the kids that are inner tubing? And maybe we'll, put it together in a fun video later. And I was like, okay, sure. So my dad was actually one of the boaters, and I just hopped on my dad's boat and set up a video camera and videoed some of the kids. And we had some incredible dumps, like some kids that were just jumping waves and falling off of the tubes and wiping out. And so I was like, oh my gosh, we need to put together like this really cool edited piece that we could, show to the kids that night at chapel. So someone had a laptop there and I asked him if I could borrow it. And we edited these videos together and showed them to the kids that night, and it became a hit. So the next year they asked me to come back and do the same thing. And then the next year they asked me to kind of video the entire camp and kind of put together little, mini clips of like what the camp was about. Yeah. So I did that. They put that out to the entire church, and someone at the church saw it and was like, hey, I'm getting married this summer. Could you video my wedding and edit it? And I was like, well, I've never done that before, but I love a challenge. I'll try it.
So back at that camp spot, had you ever edited video before? Had you ever, like, when you were like, I have these awesome images, we should snip them and put them in a video? Had you ever done that before?
Right. I was in my 20s, and it wasn't really like that big of a thing. We didn't have video in my school growing up, and
Yeah.
um, I went to college to be a teacher. It wasn't on my radar really.
Yeah.
So I kind of just picked it up and taught myself, and
Hmm.
then started editing some of our family
Yeah.
videos and vacation videos and stuff like that, making them more fun, putting them to music, montages,
That is
slideshows.
fun. So
Yeah.
was that like you never turned back? I mean, I know you do photo and video and kind of like interchange, but is it was there a turning point for you that you were like, no, I'm going to go this direction or I'm going to go this direction?
I
When did
think it
that
was
happen?
like evolving. I don't think it was really like a big turning point. I think it just kind of evolved over time.
Yeah.
And then my business became what it is today. So the whole reason I got into photography was because the industry started changing to using DSLRs more for video. So I bought a DSLR, not knowing anything about that kind of a camera,
Yeah.
and having to teach myself
Mhm.
manual settings and figuring out how to take pictures. But I was like, oh, if I have a DSLR, I could do the video, and then I can take pictures for their DVD cover, or,
Yeah.
kind of interchange, never thinking that I was going to be a photographer.
Yeah.
But someone saw me with that camera and was like, hey, you have a camera. Do you want to take our family photos? And
Ah,
then I was like, sure, I'm up for the challenge.
yeah.
I'll
Okay.
try it.
So were those the first like photos you took with that new camera?
I bought the camera on the way to a wedding,
Okay. Oh wow.
and tried to take a couple of pictures at that wedding, and they were not that great. But I was doing video, so I had my video cameras and that was all set up, and then I kind of played around
Mhm.
with the camera. So those wedding photos were the first ones I actually took, but then
Okay.
this one family's family photos were the second.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I mean, you have a way of capturing families that I think is really unique. I mean, there's some amazing photographers out there in the world, and everybody has kind of their unique take and their unique approach to things. And and one of the things you talk about is being able to get families in and out of there like rapid fire, not because you're rushing them through, but because kids and busy schedules and a sense of overwhelm with this, like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a 2 hour shoot and where do I fit it into my schedule, and like, talk to me a little bit about how you came up with that approach toward shooting families, and this like short and simple, in and out, no stress approach.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you can get the majority of all of the photos that you want within a half-hour session. So I try to steer all of my clients towards that session in particular, because I think it's the biggest bang for your buck. So if I can schedule multiple families on the same day in the same location too, then I can do, 4 to 6 photo shoots within 3 hours,
Hmm.
and have all of these like amazing images of your family. So it's kind of like, because I have done so many weddings, I know the flow of
Yeah.
what would work best. So, you start with everybody all together, and then you kind of peel off
Hmm.
individual. I definitely want to make sure that everyone gets a new, updated, individual image of every single kid in their family. Mom and dad get headshots if they want. But I just recently did a family the other day, and we did it in a half hour, but it was at this location where they got 3 different backdrops. So they had like a forest looking backdrop, and then they had a field, and then they had a river. So if you can find locations that give you a variety too, I feel like that helps,
Yeah.
speed things along too. Um,
I have a background as an event planner, and so when you mention the whole like knock them out in 10 minutes, you're trying to get all these family shots done, and it's like, okay, big, everybody, now whittle, 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 whittle. Now back to big, whittle, 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 whittle per
Yeah.
family. And I mean, that at a, wedding venue is just like, okay, we're here, smile. And so it's like,
Well, and the bride and the groom, they're over photos by the end of the
oh,
night.
they are
They have
so over photos.
smiled and smiled and smiled. So if you can get, the family photos and the
Mhm.
bridal party photos done as quickly as possible, but you have as many different combinations as possible,
Yeah,
then you're leaving them happy as well. And then you want them to just party and have, the best day of their life.
right.
So getting all that done ahead of time and then just saying, dude, we're done. Go party. Have fun.
It's an interesting reference to like combine that picture in my head of like, okay, 30 minutes, we're going to like take every shot you could possibly want. We're going to take mom and dad and whole family. And now we're going to take, all the siblings. And now we're going to take just one sibling at a time, and mom and dad individually. And, all of this stuff I can see, with my background in event planning, I can see how that's possible. But what I love about your photos is that you can't tell that, you can't tell that it was like, um, this in and out stress, free ability to just get in, get it done, and anybody, any family could fit it into
Mm.
their schedule. I mean, some of these big families, I grew up in a big family. We had a family of 8, and to coordinate everybody's schedules and to get everybody
Yeah.
someplace at the same time was like, yeah, that's not happening. But
I
when you
think
only have like 30 minutes that you need to set aside, and the images you get are, I mean, they look so natural, so fun, like everybody's having a blast. I mean, it's a spectacular notion in my head that you can like coordinate everybody into 30 minutes. I love that. I love that.
Yay. I think also like because of, the pandemic and what all happened in
Mhm.
2020, I have had more extended family photo shoots this summer
Mhm.
than ever before.
Yeah.
Grandparents, aunts,
Yeah.
uncles, moms, dads, everyone. And so those larger groups, I do take a little bit more time with because a lot of times those families haven't done a shoot like this ever
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
So I might give that group an hour because I want to get individual families too and make sure that they
Yeah.
each get,
Well, but
almost
then
a
you're
full
basically
gallery in
taking, yeah,
themselves.
you're taking multiple family units and punching them all down. So the same concept exists. You're
Yeah,
taking everything, instead of one family, you're taking 3 or 4 or 5 families, and, condensing that window so that everybody can fit it into their schedule. Everybody can actually make it a possibility to do family photos. You know,
exactly.
I
Yeah.
come from a big Italian family, and we every summer we used to do these big family shoots, and they still do them, although I'm not often there. uh and it is always in a different backdrop, and always this big huge family photo, and everybody's like, afterwards everybody's like, oh, is it over? Oh. But I talked to one of your clients, and she was like, oh my gosh, we got so many spectacular images. I couldn't imagine, I couldn't believe how many different shots, different angles, different approaches. We're laughing, we're having fun. Like, we got so many images that it kind of blew our mind. There's nothing like it. And we thought 30 minutes, maybe we'll get 1 or 2 good shots. She's like, I can't even pick between all of the shot, like I can't even pick which ones are good because they're all so fun. They like represent who we are, because we were just having a good time and there and enjoying each other, and that's huge.
Oh,
You
I love that. I can't even like
know.
wipe the smile off my face.
Yeah.
That's the part that I love. I love being able to just give everyone. That's one thing I also include. I include all the digitals that are good.
Yeah.
So if people's eyes are open, all that kind of stuff. Because maybe my favorites aren't necessarily my clients' favorites. So I'll
Yeah.
pick my favorites to post on social media, but then I'll give them their stuff And it's fun to see like what they post
Oh yeah, I
versus
bet.
what I've posted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I have one son, and he's 6'2", and we recently had some pictures taken, and my favorite image was him towering over me, looking down at me with a smirk, because that's us. That's him. And the photographer was like, I don't know whether you like this one, but I had to send it over. And I'm like, oh my God, my favorite, hands down. Like, that's just so my son, because it's the goofy look. It's the like, okay, yes, I know you're taller than me, so that engagement is captured in a picture. And
Yeah.
I think that's something you do really well. And I'm going to say this, it's going to sound like kind of weird. You do it really well with babies. Like, your newborn photos are incredible, and your kid
Thank
photos are incredible.
you.
How do you do you just keep shooting? Like, how do you capture those moments you capture?
I am known as an overshooter.
Okay.
So I do have to edit a lot at the end, but
Yeah.
I think, yeah, shooting a lot helps. Um, with babies and kids, you have to be patient. So
Mm.
you have to make sure that like if you're doing a newborn, it's if the baby's sleepy, they're easier to pose. So you have to be willing to let the mom feed and relax and just kind of hang out with them for a couple minutes before the shoot even starts. So I do again also set aside a little bit more time for newborns. But I don't make it, a 3 to 4 hour shoot. I've seen so many
Yeah.
horrible stories of people that were like, my baby was screaming the whole time. We were at the studio for 4 hours. I was like, that does not sound like fun to me.
Yeah.
So I try to make it, being a mom of two myself, try to make it feel like how I would want it to feel if I were in their shoes. And
And
maybe
how
also,
old are yours now?
mine are 7 and 11 now.
Oh, wow.
So
Crazy
going
ages.
into, well, in elementary school and then one going into middle school.
Yeah.
But that middle school age also, you have to have a lot of patience with
Oh,
them.
yeah. Mine in high school won't even let anybody photograph him. He's of the mind that it's like, no, my image captured on film is stealing my soul. So,
I
okay.
love it. I taught high school for 8 years and I've taught middle school for 8 years now. So I think like that has also helped me get into the mind of teenagers and like figure out how to best approach them when I come to a photo shoot. Like the parents and I, we already have a good relationship, right?
Yeah.
But the kids, you have to like, they don't know you. And so they're like, I don't trust you. And they've got like that
Would.
attitude about them.
Yeah.
So if I, have watched the most recent TikToks or if I have seen whatever my kids are watching on YouTube, I can kind of bring up recent
Yeah.
trends and get on their good side right away too. So I don't know. It's a weird like combination of being a teacher myself, being a mom myself, learning patience over the years as a photographer, knowing my settings. It's crazy. All the things that are going through your mind as a photographer, but
And I think being a mom and understanding the frustrations of being a mom, I think probably gives you a huge edge because your whole target is like busy moms. That's who you said you love working with
Mhm.
because you get the whole you're gonna possibly walk in frustrated and annoyed at your kids because they wouldn't put the right clothes on
Oh,
and
true.
wouldn't get out the door when they were supposed to and didn't eat this morning so they're cranky and like all of this
Didn't
stuff.
nap at the right
Oh,
time, didn't yeah. Oh, yeah.
totally. Okay. Okay. So, um, I mean, when we were talking, you told me about, kind of your approach to things is that you really want to capture the entire family, not just as a group individually, but you also do that in an affordable way. And so you're talking about quality and and from the words of your clients, quantity as well. Like you're giving them a lot, but
Mhm.
also really making sure that everybody can access it, everybody can do it, everybody can have those family photos. So what led you to kind of start approaching your business that way?
I think also because, everyone has like certain budgets and family photos, as necessary as they aren't a necessity, even though, we want to capture those images, especially now that people have like phones
Mhm.
that
Oh
take
yeah,
photos.
yeah.
Everyone's capturing their own families on their own time, but they still might want those special heirloom quality
Yeah.
photos. So, knowing that approach, I kind of want to keep it in a certain range price wise, but then I also am an ambassador for this amazing fair trade jewelry company.
Oh my
And
gosh, this is
so,
like my favorite part of what you do. Like I have to pause for a minute. Hold on, because
okay,
this is like I've never even heard of anybody else doing this. This is cool stuff, people. Okay. So roll back for a minute and restart that. So
okay,
tell us what you do.
so about 5 years ago, I became an ambassador for this fair trade jewelry company, and we partner with artisans all over the world. We're in 13 different countries. We are, making a difference in the lives of 2,500 artisan business partners.
Cool. Yeah.
So this company buys jewelry from these artisans in third world countries, brings it here and sells it to create a marketplace here for them. So it's getting them more business.
Mhm.
So what I wanted to do was get the word out on that company and somehow combine it with my photography business, because
Okay.
people want cute jewelry to wear for their photos anyways. Or
Good
like
point.
a new mom might want a cute new bag to put, all
Mhm.
of her new
Mhm.
newborn stuff in. Um, so I just started like thinking outside the box and pivoting. How could I like combine these? And so I started it with a mini session one Christmas. I was like, okay, if you purchase the amount, so like let's say it was a $200 mini session.
Okay.
If you purchase $200 worth of jewelry or bags off my fair trade site, I'll shoot your photos. Like that will have paid for your photos. You don't have to
Oh
give me
wow.
$200 in cash. You just buy jewelry and then I'll shoot your photos. So I
Wow.
do get a small percentage
Yeah.
of the sales off my website, but it's also getting the word out on both of my businesses. And then I hope that people would come back, if they think of jewelry or they want to buy a present for someone, then I would hope they would think of me and come back. And yeah. But a lot
One
of
of the
people
things
come.
I go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say a lot of people come back because of that deal. They're like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
need a refresher in my jewelry, but I also need some family photos this year. So I know I can
Okay.
get both."
And so how would somebody like bank in on that whole process? Like, where do they go on your website? There's a specific spot they go.
Um, well, there's a spot on my website where you can contact me and fill out what you want. Usually after we've um booked the shoot or scheduled the shoot, if people don't know about that, then I tell them about that. So they're like, "Well, how do I pay you?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I have this amazing deal that you can purchase jewelry and then get your photos taken."
Well, and it's one of the
Like,
things
sometimes it takes a lot of explaining, like,
yeah.
"No, really,
No.
this is how you pay for your photos. You don't have to pay me anything extra. You just buy jewelry." And they're like, "Well, do you keep the jewelry?" "No, you're
No.
getting the jewelry. You're getting jewelry and photos."
Well, it's kind of like most people could understand the concept of like bartering, right? I'll give you something and you do my photos, but this is like taking bartering to like the next level. So
Like,
you're like,
you get
if
double.
you support these other small business owners, then the
Mhm.
percentage I make from that supports them, and that's my passion and my love and why I do it. But the percentage I make is enough to cover the cost of shooting your photos. So it's kind of like
Exactly.
bartering exemplified. It's hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, that's exactly it too. And it's kind of like my passion, my way to give back to these communities. We've had all these recent issues in Haiti and Afghanistan, and we actually have um, pieces right now that you can purchase, and then a percentage of that will go directly to organizations in Haiti and Afghanistan. So it's just this, socially conscious company that's doing amazing things, and it's something that I don't even have to think about. Like, I know
Yeah.
they're doing great things, so I want to help support them, and obviously I get amazing jewelry out of it too. But
Well, and it's why we have you here on Founder Fables. I mean, this is something that, by working with you, by helping you, by your community reaching out and supporting you, by, working with you as a photographer, they also are supporting a ton of other small business owners
Mhm.
across the world, which is like the the reason you're here on Founder Fables, because you are doing something that's fable worthy, right? You're doing something
Aw.
that is taking something that we all know we need to do, which is support small businesses and help actual people over corporations.
Mhm.
And you're taking that to a whole new level by incorporating it into the actual payment for your services, which is just like, oh, we love that. We love that.
Thank
More
you.
people need to be doing that. That's so, so cool. Um, I guess I want to come back to that in a minute, but one of the things we talked about was that, life and the process of a family's life and all of the events that happen in their lives, it's a circle, it's a full circle. And that's one of the
Mhm.
things that you love about shooting photography, is that, all of your clients become part of your family,
Oh, that's
which
so
is
true.
a wonderful sentiment, and we understand here at Local Tude, because I consider all of you part of my family, and I love this idea of this cyclical nature of what you do with photography. So talk to me a little bit about how you see that, and why you love that cycle.
Yeah. So, getting started in weddings, that was kind of my jumping off point. And then from there, I realized, weddings make babies a lot of times. And so when they got pregnant, they would come back to me for maternity and then newborn and then family photos. Eventually, those kids, grow up and then they have senior photos. I don't think I've had one full circle moment with that yet, but it's coming.
Yet.
That's sure.
Yet.
I've been in business, 15, 16 years. It's coming. But those people, if they had a good experience with you, they remember you when they need that next, thing documented. So they come back to you for that moment.
So cool. So exciting. It's got to be an amazing thing to experience those moments in somebody's life, and then see their next moment, and then see their next moment, and be a part of it, really be considered the go-to, because that's something, that loyalty, that coming
Yeah,
back to you is the essence of what supports a small business, right? The
I
essence of
agree.
what helps an entrepreneur soar, because that loyalty from your customers, that creation of a relationship you have with them, that makes them want to keep coming back and keep being loyal to you as their photographer.
Yeah.
When I
Sometimes they'll
spent
come
some,
to me and I'll like cry when I see how
oh,
big their
for
kid has
sure.
gotten, or I'm like, oh my gosh, like the last time I saw you, you were
You
like,
were like this big. I went to I lived in Mexico for 6 months, and down there they kept asking me, why do you call things yours? Like your doctor, your photographer, your teacher, whatever. They're not yours. They don't belong to you. And I'm like, oh no, they do. They absolutely do, because my heart, my, part of who I am is connected to
Yeah.
them. And
Those
so I love that.
relationships and
Mhm.
like those my husband is the same way. He'll like find a restaurant that he likes and he'll
Yeah.
find like a specific waiter or waitress and he'll go back just
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of like the good interaction that he had with that one person.
I love
So
it.
he totally gets that whole concept of creating relationships with where you
Mhm.
do business and yeah.
Well, it has been such an amazing pleasure to get to know you and have all of our family get to know you. I would love to have you tell us, as your community, near or far, how can we support you as a small business owner, as somebody who's one of our fabled founders? How can your community show up and best support you?
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I am based in Southwest Washington. So
Okay.
if you are local to me, obviously I would love for you to check me out and see if there is, some type of mini shoot or photo shoots that I have already set up that might, align with what you want for your family this fall. Or if you have local family, you can share it with them. I noticed that there's a little ticker down below that shows you can
Yeah.
go to my Instagram and check me out. So, like, follow, share. In the bio there's links where you can check out my jewelry or check out my YouTube channel or any of those other social media platforms that we all have to have.
Yeah, yeah.
But definitely liking, following, and if you're local, checking out upcoming photo shoots that I have.
And I will say to all of you who are part of the Local Tude family, you don't have to be local to support her, because as we've been talking about at Local Tude, you can support her simply by letting somebody you know who does live in Southwest Washington or Seattle, Portland, Northern California, if they really love her,
Mm.
um, to let them know that you saw her right here and they have to go check her out, because everybody knows somebody. And so even if you live in New York or Phoenix or Florida, it doesn't matter. Send somebody her way. Send somebody her way who is passionate about getting family photos done in a way that represents them and their family, quick and easy, affordably, and even better yet, I'm going to plug you again on this awesome thing you do. Better yet, who's looking to support amazing crafters from around the world, get some really cool jewelry, and it's other things too, other than just jewelry, right?
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
have some things coming out soon that I can't talk
Okay.
about yet, but it's going to be amazing.
Okay. I love it. I love it. I mean, this was so amazing to meet you, to really get to know how and why you do what you love, and give us the chance and the opportunity to support that no matter where we are.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much
uh,
for having me.
absolutely. I'm going to close us out, and then we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. We love that you're here as a part of our family. We hope you will be part of our conversation frequently. And if you have a small business and you haven't yet signed up to be included on the Local Tude app, make sure you do it. Now is the time. We've got a ton of media coverage. And if you pull the trigger now before we launch, it goes from $120 a year to get your business listed down to $20. That's it. That's all I'm ever going to charge you. No hidden fees, no click to, percentages, nothing. It's just that $20, and you'll stay at that $20 for life. So if you haven't pulled the trigger, go pull the trigger, sign up at local2.com, and you could be the next fabled founder. All right. Tell a favorite small business owner you know about our show here and invite them to join us. If you'd like more information, we can be found at local2.com or pretty much on any social media platform you want to find us at. The links and everything else are in our description and bio and everywhere else. So we hope to see you on the next Founder Fables. And for today, we hope that you have a fabulous weekend and the rest of today. All right. Ciao. Bye, fam.